Welcome. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Diva D from Carved Out Divas.
April Cobb with April's Beauty Bar, and we are diversity, equity, and education.
Yes, and we're being hosted by the fabulous and fantastic Bianca Goolsby of Teaching for the Culture. Welcome and good evening, everyone. How are you all doing this evening? How are you doing it?
Ooh, how we doing? How we doing?
Oh boy, I tell you, this has been
How we
a
doing? How we really doing?
how we really doing? I mean, I'm you know, yeah. Some people have unblocked me. Let's just say that. I guess they try to see. I've been a little bit unblocked, and I'm still waiting for the retort. But I guess we'll be waiting. Let's just say that we'll continue to be waiting, and we'll find out because who is this says Americans have a great saying called "chickens come home to roost." That's what Americans say, and I just we have seen that all this week. We have witnessed the chickens coming home to roost, and I think it's Malcolm X that said that. And I'm just sitting back and watching the fallout. My biggest concern, especially for us as teachers in education, based on everything that has taken place, this just the first really full week of the brand new year, is what about the children? How are the children going to process this when they walk in the door on Monday? Because we here in the Tampa Bay area, we've seen the truck rallies. They still rallying right now. They've been rolling around. So remember right before election happened and there was a huge rally at a school? What's going to happen when we go back to school? For some of those Black kids in those schools that are predominantly white, how are they going to feel come Monday? Are they safe? Has anybody
I
inquired
hope
about the
there.
teachers?
I hope there's a plan in place in the event there is a decision made by a collective body of students at specific schools to be able to quickly disperse gatherings as such that can create disruption in the learning environment. I just hope they have a plan in the event that that occurs because, yes, we want our students to be capable of demonstrating their freedom of speech, but it cannot be at the sacrifice of other children feeling as though that they are not valued or don't have worth, being that they are not white. So that's something that
Correct.
we definitely got to look forward. We got to be forward thinking in all of that because it is what it is.
Hmm.
The decision has been made. For those of us that didn't agree with the last decision for the former president, we move forward. So that's now what we all have to do right now, move forward respectively as American citizens. Now, what that looks like for those of us that didn't get it the first time, that means that you do not take regard to be hateful, because that's the only word I could think of right now, a very simplistic answer, hateful to another group of people because of them being not, because they're not white. So that's all I got to say on that.
Yeah. And I agree because we, yeah, the thing I'm looking at for children is what are we teaching our children? You have to understand is that people, we're not going to be here forever. We have another generation that's coming up behind us. What's the lesson we're teaching them? I mean, it's bad enough. Like I remember when I was a kid, I had a hard time losing at Uno. Okay, that was just. I mean, it was real hard for me. But I wasn't gonna break nobody's house down and tear the place up because I lost because you draw four on me and then hit me with a draw two and then reverse the game. I didn't do all that.
I might, I love the win. I be ready to act up.
So I saw, like I said, was telling before, it's like these memes. I saw a meme that had oh my god, Billy Beeman, remember for that whatever movie it was, where he said, listen, Obama won twice, and we act like that. So I mean, what could y'all just? But that's the problem. We're not showing our children that it's okay when you don't get your way, and that's the scary part because you have people who are still sitting there. I think basically people are brainwashed. They have been brainwashed, and what's so sad is that there's nothing when somebody it's like being a part of a cult. When someone has put something in your brain so deeply that you just can't even believe reality. You can't even see the reality of what you're doing. You can't understand it. And people could give you all the facts, even whether it's scientific or truthful, anything true, and you still won't believe it. And that's the part that's terrible. But what my big thing I want to mention is, remember when everybody was talking about Blue Lives Matter? It didn't seem to matter in my mentality, but y'all fighting about it. But notice how those same people are very, very quiet right now. They're real quiet because it was white people who were killing other white people. In case you didn't know that was white on white crime. In case you didn't know. So, and God rest the dead. The I think it's the one or two, both officers. I'm not sure, but I know for a fact one was laid to rest today. So, God, sympathies go out to the family, but understand this is a blatant thing that allows the world to see what's going on with our country, and that one race or one color of people are not treated the same. And we have to be very, very, very cognizant of that fact when we teach our children about race, when we teach our children about accepting diversity, which is what we're about, having a diverse culture, having a diverse curriculum, being able to show them all. Like, for example, here's a textbook, Nelson Mandela, and let's learn about all cultures and all people, because everyone has something to contribute to society. So it should not just be one particular person. Okay? Comments? And that's my list right here. Okay, so then listen.
You said it so eloquently. That's it.
I try the best I can. Hey, I want to remind parents. Parents, listen up. We're going into second semester. It doesn't begin this week. It begins the following. Now, remember, we're going to have 2 4-day weeks. And I know you're like, man, I just got these children out the house. Okay, well, listen, let me tell you what happened. There is no school Friday of this week, which is a non-student day. Ooh, it did praise dance right now. Okay, no school Friday of this week is a non-student day. And then the Monday of the following week is Martin Luther King Day. So therefore, let's just wave it out. We all have a 4-day week. What's that baby in the meme?
And may I add that it is my birthday on
Yes.
Just in case you all want to know. And my current fundraiser for the Beauty Blueprint Foundation is up. And if you ever want to support the mentorship programs that we have, feel free to be in support of the nonprofit that can get the dollars to us immediately when you want to host your birthday what do you call it? I lost train of thought. Host your birthdays, nonprofit donations.
Yeah.
Check off Beauty Blueprint Foundation. Myself, Denise, we can use those dollars for the girls that we support. And we're very appreciative of it.
Thank you so much. And that was good. That was good that you said that. Now, parents, so again, if you want to know why we said that we'll have those days off. Remember, the quarter comes to an end this week. So that's what we need additional days for, to input grades and make sure everything is all together with report cards. Now, I will say this, I'm not sure of any particular school. I'm quite sure the principals or someone in admin should be reaching out to you. I know for us, we're doing that, what we call a clean sweep, meaning that, if you have not shown proficiency at all over these past 18 and a half weeks, some people are looking at there's 2 options for you, either withdrawal or you return to brick and mortar. Now, here's my problem with that. We also have cases of COVID that are running right up through the roof. So I don't know how that's going to look sending kids back to school, and the COVID numbers were still above 10%. So I don't know what can you show me share your input and insight, because I don't know.
I have none. I'm not a medical doctor. I just know exactly what you know. The numbers are up. They're on the rise. We have the Super Bowl coming here. We're gonna have our community just gonna be cesspool or just hoax. So
overrun.
I don't know what to say about that.
I will say this right now. I'm at the point right now where there is not a single. It's actually getting so close to me now that there's people who I know intimately, like have a real good relationship with, that actually have it now. That's how. And no matter what, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how you've done everything right. And you know what makes you mad is when you've done everything you can to try to keep yourself safe. And simple things like, I went to the grocery store. I was trying to do is put gas in the car. That's how you pretty much, when you backtrack it, what did I do that was unusual that I didn't think I came into contact with people, but what did I do? So it's like, now it's like almost everybody has it. And whether or not it's they're symptomatic, or many of people I do know that have it are asymptomatic. So they just, I can't believe I got it. Yes, because we're everywhere. No one is being respectful of what the CDC is saying now. And now we gonna be so completely illogical and so we gonna send children back to school. Are y'all for real? Just, when I think almost every school where I know I have personal friends working at, including my own school, hazmat teams came through already. But ain't nobody saying nothing.
That is a whisper. What was the name of that song? With the, let me tell you
something. The whisper song.
That's just how they treat Cobb around here.
Yep. Right.
Legs.
What did legs be? What did
So some messages. So Trellis Thomas says, unfortunately, America will never admit that this country was built on racism.
Right.
In every facet of life, and will never change the narrative. We as Black Americans and the generation that are after us have to rewrite our stories. White has never been right, but always wrong from the foundation of America and the founding fathers. And Trellis also said that COVID cases are on the rise daily. Florida is the second in most cases after California. I want y'all to hear that. Isn't California bigger than us?
It's bigger.
Demographic wise, people. And we're not. But you know how the number games go. You know, as long as it's showing that going down somewhat, it's okay.
Right.
You know the numbers game.
Right. That's just.
But we're not seeing that right now.
No. Just.
So if it was 5,000 yesterday and 4,998 today, that means that the numbers are going down. It's okay. You know, that's the type of game that, you know, individuals sometimes play with numbers. Okay.
You know what America's like when you think about that. America, like that strong, silent boyfriend you had. You know, it was fine when the relationship was new. He was just strong and silent. Now, like 10 years in, you trying to figure out why he ain't saying nothing. Why you don't talk to me about nothing? Why you don't talk? That's America right there.
Say something.
Just say something. Talk to me. Please. Share your information, your thoughts, and your feelings. Talk to me. And they're like,
let me know how you really feel.
Right. They like that with COVID, and they like that with this white supremacy stuff. It's like America is afraid to admit what the problem is. You know what I like about Germany? That's why I got my little German friends over there. They willing to sit down and admit, listen, Hitler was wrong. We should have stepped in there a little earlier. We know about the Holocaust. They teach it in schools. I mean, come on.
Wait. Say that. They teach it where?
They teach it where? In schools.
They teach it in U.S. schools? They teach it over here?
No, they teach it in German schools where it happens.
Oh, okay.
Maybe this.
But we get snippets over here in the U.S., right? Just little snippets.
They have entire curriculum on that. Because it's like, what? Why you not tell them the truth about the country? And that's why you have such ignorance going on. When you got somebody on there talking about, listen, did you see Rudy Giuliani? His old self needs to be in a wheelchair talking about trial by combat. Play this ain't Game of Thrones.
And the fact that he's serious though. He's serious though.
He was serious. I'm like, who you fighting? The Marshmallow Puff Man?
Yes, because nobody. Like Keith Sweat saying, nobody.
There was a dude. I mean, their hating white supremacy was. I saw a dude in a wheelchair. Y'all wheelchair the dude to break into the Capitol?
It was a whole row of disabled people.
He looked like a chicken McNugget. He ain't had no arms, no legs, no nothing. But I was just like, why you wrong? What?
It's her, y'all, not me.
It is. I said it. But I'm just like, what? You had that many people that was willing to bring, or even the disabled, to go storm, as they call it, storm the Capitol. But my concern is not just that happened then. My big concern, which is what a big thing that Bianca Goolsby always is stressing to all of us, is that all of this was managed and handled through social media.
All of it. all of it.
Oh,
So you can't deny not knowing what happened. We saw it with our own two eyes. Now the question becomes, what lens did you choose to view it in?
right. Hmm. Because you over here talk about Black Lives Matter, but we ain't organizing no protest when we storming the Capitol. You have, so you mean to tell me the FBI? Because I told you I have 7th and 8th graders that know how to find all the dark web. So if you got a child who might be on a 4th grade reading level is able to find find out how to get on white supremacist groups, what's wrong with the FBI? How much degrees they actually need? Or is it that you picking and choosing what you think is? Because from last time I checked, many of the time, reason why things like this happen because we don't believe white people gonna do that. You all want to be quick to believe the Black Panther Party was going to be all militant and we're going to go into. They didn't do any of that. They fed children. They opened kindergarten schools and things like that. They helped single parents. That's what they were there for. But you call them a terrorist organization. No, sir, ma'am. All of you, did you watch the TV on Wednesday? That's a terrorist organization.
Yes. It's the definition of it.
Yes.
With the demonstration of what it looks like when it's implemented.
Right. And
not in theory.
Right.
Not in theory. We saw it implemented. They carried through. They followed through.
That's why I keep telling people, I said, even small things where you think is not a crime, federal crime. Taking somebody's mail is a federal crime. So like when people try to put drops of mails in another mailbox, that's a crime. So when the dude broke into Pelosi's office and took the mail off the desk, I know they're sitting there shocked, can't understand why they got arrested. They said computers are missing. Do you know how scary that makes me feel to know computers from the Capitol are missing?
Well, let's talk about the fact that how many people are from Florida that they have begun to identify through face imaging. Yeah, it's real, y'all.
First of all, let me break this down. Right before we got on here, I was looking at you. The FBI have already received 40,000 tips on the internet alone. They haven't even checked. They haven't even gotten combed through the phone calls yet because some of these people are so slow. They actually wore the work badges. They went in there without masks. Listen, I mean,
No, they felt entitled. They have been given that type of power to where they did not feel the need to remove their work badges. That level of entitlement is so indifferent. I've never experienced that type of entitlement,
right?
And I don't think you have either. So we don't even know what that feels like. So yeah, we would have been concerned about a lot of things.
Right, because I'm like, but I'm trying my very best. Like sometimes for me, it's very, very hard for me to say unless I really put it on real good on the phone. You can easily identify my voice. I'm like, look, I try to cover it up, but you know it's me. I be trying too hard. I'm like, yes, this is Susan from. No, it's not. It's you. Stop it.
And then there were so many different news
the outlets
anchors that were speaking to the fact, everybody that was on the show, CNN, every major media, the first thing they were comparing it to was if it had been Black Lives Matter or a group of African-American people, minority people, we would have seen a bloodbath at the Capitol. We would have seen a bloodbath. There would have been so many more lives lost based upon just the mere fact that they were Black people. Mm-hmm. If you don't know or cannot connect with what white privilege looked like anytime before that day, you saw what it looked like without question. The children know it.
Yeah.
We don't mean middle school. We mean the elementary children are able to create what is the relationship between when they were protesting versus when these group of people, the kids know it. You can take and show that to a 3, 4, 5-year-old. These current 3, 4, 5-year-olds, they can tell you what the problem is. Mm-hmm. They can tell you.
But they're grown adults that will sit there and actually, Fox News still trying to put a spin on it. I don't know what they're talking about. There's no such thing as racism in America. Really? When police officers
first of all, when the black officer was running,
the black officer was running away. running away. Now, granted, I do understand.
You could see that man. He looked terrified.
Yes, he was.
And they still were charging at him.
Right. And my thing is, I do understand. The only perspective I understand is the fact that, yes, they were outnumbered 600 to 1. But the thing about it is that's their fault because they also knew what was coming. You didn't tell me you saw all that and you didn't, and they angry. That's an angry mob. You know, if there's one thing when we all holding hands and singing Kumbaya, that's different. But this is an angry mob and you did not anticipate. Maybe we throw out a couple, let me roll out some of these tanks. How about I grab a couple more military? Maybe I call the National Guard.
I think I seen one can of tear gas through the whole time. One can.
It took 3 hours.
Just one can. Then they was talking about the lady was rubbing onion in her eyes.
Yes, she was. You saw her with an onion. They sprayed me. Girl, you have an onion in your eye. A whole onion in your hand. Susan, sit down. But look, how about you talk about girl, I think I be dying too. Look, did you see the memes where the dude had done the Donkey Kong music and it was trying to climb the wall?
Yes, and it said yes. Yeah. They would have been gunned down, y'all. They would have been gunned down. They would have been stuck. It would have been a bloodbath.
That's what you did. People, it's like, do you America? Do you people know? I remember we're gonna put a disclaimer. It's not that we have a problem with the white people. The problem is that you're not recognizing what the issue is in America. It's like it's okay for you to understand what is the real issue. Don't be mad about it. Just understand. Every single black person in America can look at that and just be like, y'all didn't get this. It took all this for you to realize this is how you are treated versus how we are treated. These people went all the way in the Capitol. I never thought I'd live to see the day where they said the last time the Capitol was breached was during the Civil War. And they didn't even bring a Confederate flag in there. Guess what? I guess their ultimate goal was to make sure a Confederate flag made it inside. And they sure did. Now what? My biggest concern is for Inauguration Day because this is my president going to show up. But Barack and Michelle, they going to be there. I don't want y'all to take them out. I suggest the FBI. Listen, somebody even said on was it on Twitter or I don't know what platform it was. Somebody said I
don't trust none of them at this point.
Right. So they said some of y'all better start getting some Farrakhan level security. You don't need nobody else's security, but some level like that. Get you them chicks from Africa. Get you the Black Panther Party. Get all the people. That's who you need. You need people you could truly trust on squad because clearly, if police officers were taking selfies with the white supremacists, do you really want that around you to protect you? Legs.
The whole time when they was rolling up to pick them up after the facial recognition, they should have been playing the song. You about to lose your job.
Get this thing.
You about to lose your job. Get this there. We should have played it Florida style. Slow down.
Slow down.
You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this thing. Let's slow it down so they can be clear on what's getting ready to occur.
Right. But you know what? Speaking of trap music, I want to say right now, I'm going to put it right now on record. Listen, Georgia, you can make all the trap music you want. Y'all came through so hard. Stacey Abrams. If every trap song for the rest of their life come out of Georgia, I will give it to y'all. Then you all look. That's what you talk about, grassroots organization right there. You all are amazing. And we need that energy right here in Florida because a lot of us down here are very complacent. But that level of energy to pull everybody, and that's also another thing that makes a lot of these white supremacists mad because what ultimately they're trying to do is invalidate the black vote. Black people's votes matter. Just because we didn't vote for who you wanted, our vote also has value. So you want to still take it, we're talking about make America great. You want to take it back to when we counted as 1/3 of a person, 1/5 of a person. So you don't want our vote to count. But you have to forget, we live in affluent neighborhoods too, so you invalidating the white vote too. That's why that was never going to happen. Because you coming up out of Buckhead, Bankhead, you coming out over there in Cobb County, DeKalb, you coming all, come on, you messing up rich white folk money too. Don't do that. Don't do that.
The best thing that I like was when they were in Washington and they showed the one lady in her car and the white gentleman was on his porch screaming to the top of his, not lungs, his damn lungs,
Yeah.
screaming, "You let these niggas come over here and do blah, blah, blah." And y'all
Right.
had the whole mob rolling up Pennsylvania Avenue. I was like,
Listen, I
scream
posted
it.
that. I posted
Tell
on my
your
page.
neighbors the truth. Say it loud.
He was
Say it.
screaming.
He was
And do
he was
you know
so angry.
he was hot. He was hot. And do you know the two of them went on the news again? Did you see the pictures of them after that? They got an interview together, I think on NBC
Oh no, I
News.
didn't see that.
Listen, they've been everywhere taking selfies and stuff. Look, it's hilarious because now they're like, look, the two of them are the true and when they went on the news, they said this is what America should be like. It doesn't matter if you're black or
Yes.
white. We both care about the same thing. So she was in her car telling him, yeah, I agree with you. He said, yeah, if it was Black Lives Matter, they'd be coming down Pennsylvania Avenue with tanks, and look at them. They tearing up the Capitol. Listen, y'all go on my page, right? And go find the
He
video.
was screaming, screaming. He was so mad. The only thing that was missing for him to just start stomping like a 2-year-old, because there was
Yes.
nothing he could do about it. He just started stomping, because
But
if he could do something about it, he definitely, I believe he would have. You just feel so defeated knowing that things like this is happening. Our children are watching, and there's nothing we really could do about it. And that really brings out concern, that the world is viewing this. They see this. I mean, we look very vulnerable right now. That's all I'm going to say.
Thank you. And that's the thing. The balance of power also will shift, because look, if you think about it now, look who actually owns us. In terms of money, who owns us? Pick up anything you have in your house and flip it over in the back. Where it says made? In where? China. If you don't think America is now second, possibly third in the world, China gonna take over. Because all China gotta do is this: I'm calling my debts. It's time to pay up.
Right.
All China got to do is say, listen, every car you got over there got Chinese parts. Everything you have, flip over your phone, made in China. Flip over the mattress, made in China. TV, made in China. China just got to say, player, I own you now. And if you thought you hated the black folk, you weren't sure gonna hate the Chinese. You know they don't stop. They keep coming, like a DJ Khaled song. As we don't want another one. Another one.
Yep, and they stick together. Stick together.
Yes. So you have to be very, very careful when other countries start to look at, so this how they do? Shoot, we can roll through. That's what we're gonna do. And you got countries in Iran and Iraq looking at this like, y'all supposed to be a superpower, huh? Okay. All they're gonna do is make black people the right offer. You see them in Nigeria, they start telling black people, come on home. Come on home. You got a banjo for me over there? Listen, me and April gonna pack some bags. We'll be there in a minute. B, come on. Grab your people. Let's go. Let's go. Because that people said, come through. We got you. They don't seem to understand. Imagine if all the black, no, not just black, the people of color really did leave. Y'all don't like to pick vegetables and fruits. Y'all don't do that. Y'all don't clean. You ain't building nothing. If the people of color really, especially right now, since every doctor I've ever gone to has been a person of color, Hispanic, Asian, African. When the people with talent really leave this country, what you got left? And you know what I found out here? Interesting article I also read. Why do people who are so, and remember these are the white supremacists. A lot of them not very intelligent, but they feel that they're entitled because they really don't understand that kind of money that Trump and all them have, that they're rich white. These people over here are poor white. But what the article I read said, they feel that things were stolen from them. So if all of us got out the way, they'd have the country back. But if you think about it, we didn't steal anything. We took advantage of what the American opportunities were. Every person that comes to this country gets the education that's offered. America's offered us the education. America says you could have a house and a nice white picket fence. Okay, we'll take advantage of that. America says your children can go to school. America says you can get good health care. So wait a minute, what are we stealing from you? That's what they told us the dream was about. Why do you think I'm over here? I'm like, I want to get an education, a nice house, a nice car. Okay, so I ain't do anything different than the average.
I don't know why she over here, y'all, because I would stay over there in my nice island where there was less craziness and I knew everybody and I can wake up every day and smell the beautiful, the water. I can view the, yeah, I don't know why she's here because I wouldn't have left.
First of all, you see this right here? Yeah, VI all day long. But the difference is this. How you going to keep on packing people on 36 square miles, ma'am? Some of us got to leave.
If I get the right amount of money, I'm at this piece. I'm going over there, and she could stay here. I will visit mommy and them on the weekends, me and the 2-pack, but she could stay here. I'm out.
You graduating people every year. Where they gonna fit? You gotta move off the island and come back. When some people retire or pass away, you come back home. That's the thing. When it's time for retirement age to hit, I'm going home. This is a broadcast. We can do this from any place in the world. We be at a beach broadcasting. We be all right. You gotta let people leave. You gotta let people leave. That's all it is. You gotta let people leave. So basically, parents, this is we're gonna throw at you. Please be aware. Tell your children to be aware of what's going on about school tomorrow. We're just looking out for everybody. We real concerned. Teachers, we concerned. We don't know what level of crazy they're at. The fact that you see in a rally still over the weekend, one of our friends was driving with her own son, and she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm driving past this."
But that's been happening all week. That happened the week before they left. Yes. We seen them in groves, like that, and that's fine. Let us be clear. We have no problem with however a person chooses to demonstrate whatever they demonstrate, as long as it's not done out of hatred. That's the key thing. Choose who you choose, but not out of hatred. Because as educators, just imagine if we demonstrated hatred toward children based upon their parents' beliefs.
Right.
We wouldn't know what to do.
Right. Because I've had some children who clearly know that their parents were racist Republicans, and then the children showed it. But I had to teach that child like I had taught everybody else in class. That child gave me hell on high water, and I was like, "Okay, Ann, we still got to learn this lesson. Okay, I know you don't want to be in this group, but you can sit over here. I mean, but that child every day, the only thing that child didn't do was come out their mouth blatantly and talk about how much they can't stand this Negro. Okay, and this was a white male, so you know how hard it was for a black female to have to teach a white male. And it came down to the point where I was actually like, you know what? Tell you like this. Clearly, this is not working out for you. Just ask your mom to move you. It's okay. I'm not mad about it. You're uncomfortable. You're surrounded by 98% black kids in this class. You don't want to be here. That's understandable, but you shouldn't come here and be mad. Just tell your mom to go ahead and withdraw you. Not a big thing. I'm not even mad about it because I know it's not you. It's what you were taught. That's it.
And that's the thing. It's what you were taught. Yes.
It's what you were taught. You were a child.
I've experienced that a few times in my career.
Yeah. One day you might come across somebody to actually get it in your head that, you know what? Wow, I've been mean all this time. My family's not right. What they're saying is not the right thing to do and be. No, I can't do it like that. And just, say that's just to understand. We work with children. We gotta be like that. That's how we have to be.
Yeah.
So we just be aware of that for thing. And then speaking of which, people, guess what? We have, as the Sunshine Education Coalition, since we want to, really want to let people know, so this is, especially right now, this is a crucial time in our history, and we can see that the embers of all this racism and stuff is coming up, so it ties directly into school. So we're spending the next, starting February 1st, we're spending 28 days in the Black Youth Experience, and we want to really encourage you all to join us in some very good discussions. We're going to have a lot of PSAs out there. We're going to be talking about how the impact of the school to prison pipeline on our Black youth, in particular, our Black males. Avery, you want to talk about it just a little bit? Tell us about that.
So we just wanted to make sure that we were intentional about the event that we hosted to highlight Black history for 2021. As we can see, a lot of times our Black youth get the short end of the stick as it relates to just being, not because they've done anything wrong, not because they are not making the right choices, in school, out of school, or so on and so forth. They are getting the short end of the stick or being treated unfairly just because of who they are, just for existing. So we wanted to take an opportunity to share, what is happening for a lot of our Black youth, especially the Black boy, just in education and period. And when we speak about these variations of topics, we wanted to be clear. This is not a Hillsborough County issue. We're going to talk about Hillsborough County, but this is a nationwide issue. Unfortunately, school to prison pipeline is real. It's not community to prison to pipeline. It's not law enforcement office prison pipeline. It's not state attorney office prison pipeline. It's school to prison pipeline. That is one of the key elements that have a controlling factor of funneling youth into the juvenile justice system. And until we bring that conversation to the forefront and not thinking about negating what the numbers are and just speaking to the facts that Black boys are being suspended disproportionately, are not receiving the necessary services in order to, number one, address their mental psyche while they're in school, and number two, close the achievement gap as it relates to their academics. So those are things that are in control, that are controlled by school. That's it. And we're not saying parent, community, law enforcement, and state attorney's office don't play a role in it. But again, like I was explaining, if we think about it, on average, a child spent up to 10 hours interacting in school or going to school or coming from school. So those are 10 hours that they're probably most attentive throughout the day. Now, if you think about it, once they get out of school, they probably got a couple of hours before daylight hit, I would say closes out, and that's when they're in community. By the time they parents get home or whatever it may be, it's time to go to bed and start that cycle all over again. So the majority of their time, the biggest impact, the most influential, in my opinion, because that's all it is, mine, is during school. And if we could be the deterrent agent that's going to disrupt the school to prison pipeline here in Hillsborough County, that's what we want to do. And it's going to start by educating all those that are in position to be able to understand that this is the level of urgency that we need to speak to it now and speak boldly and aggressively, seek out change. Nothing is going to happen differently. It's just going to be we working on it. There's no more working on it. We need the actual to see the work. We want to see the fruits of the work, not working on it. We want to see the other side of the work. And right now, just these small numbers and yes, we know it's not going to happen overnight, but we're not going to play number games. We're not going to play that. So again, we welcome all you all to be very intentional about sharing the information out when we begin to distribute the flyer. The overall flyer for the event is already out there on our page. And, we're super excited. We are, going to have some legislators on, some board members, some key people that directly interact with youth as it relates to the DJJ system here in Hillsborough County. So we're excited. And the ultimate goal, once again, is to educate those in the community to a place that they understand the level of urgency that we are seeking as a community to provide some expectations from our district in order to address this issue aggressively. Keyword, with a level of urgency and aggressively, so we can see change for our Black boys here in Hillsborough County Public Schools. We got to see something different sooner than later.
Absolutely, because it took us to 20, maybe almost 25 years to get to this point. But at the same time, we have to stop it. We can't just keep on saying, "Okay, we'll work on our program next year." Well, guess what? We're here, so we now have to stop and start rolling back, so to push us back to where we need to be, where our children are proficient in reading and math and just everything else. Now, one of the, I think there was a comment on here. Let's go right here. See what we're talking about. The teachers says an Ohio teacher. Hi, Beverly. Ohio teacher was inside. Also, she resigned on Friday. These people are teaching our children. They were inside the Capitol building. Wow. Trellis says they're even rationing health care and treatments in the hospitals for people affected with COVID. And depending on your ethnicity, you may not transport to the ER. And of course, that Black and brown communities are the ones most affected. I know
that freaked me out in California, where they said, do not dial 911.
Right. They said that because they're rationing the oxygen supply, if that person, when they're telling the ER, they're saying
don't resuscitate them.
The EMTs don't resuscitate them. They're just saying, you know what, we can't do this. We don't have enough. So if they look critical, just go ahead and let them die. That's a horrible position
to put another human being in.
Especially, and my sister's a doctor, so she said that thing hurt her to the core, because she said, remember, we took a HIPAA oath. We took an oath to do no harm. That's our oath. And now you telling us that we have to make life and death decisions on the field, like a war zone, like we're in a war, and we have to make a life and death decision. Hey, listen, I can't save this person; they got to go. I mean, it's a horrible position to put some. I can't to put people in. It's horrific, and so that's why we have to try to do our best to stay like the big thing is build up your immune system as best as you can. The thing that I've been hearing from everybody, including my own sister, vitamin A, C, D, zinc, and quercetin. That's it. She's like, it's a magical combination, but it fights all. It's for your immune system. And if you're not a friend of vitamins, just get them in gummy form. Get them all in gummy. That's what I do. I have gummies because I'm just like I hate taking vitamins. But guess what? If they taste like candy, they're going down. So hey, all right. So that's how I do them. But my immune system, and then the airborne, and what's the little airborne is the orange one. Yeah, you get airborne, which is your vitamin C, and you get your what's the pack that you pour in the water? That's emergency. Emergency works too. Okay, but just try to build your immune system because obviously, if when things get bad, they're not going to pick you up. They don't want to take you in there, and you just don't want to go in. You just don't want to go in, and it's affecting a lot of people. Charleston, yeah, we did. We take an oath to do no harm, right? And imagine how you have to feel knowing that you cannot help somebody when your purpose, your mission is to do that. That's a horrible feeling.
And
Horrible
my
feeling.
question becomes, does that statement hold true to his wife, his mother, his child?
Mhm.
Does it hold true there?
Right.
So if you got a
Right.
gunshot wound, dude, they just gonna wait till you die and bring you in California.
Look at they got body bags for you. They're not even gonna bring you in. They're like, well, look, you're gonna have to stay in the refrigerated part of the truck, and that's where you're gonna be at. And it's amongst all the other things they got wildfires, earthquakes, everything, all of that. So now, and here it is. The problem is, unlike other countries who are stricter with their citizens, like England went back on lockdown. We always give people choices around here. So even though a lot of people don't like it, and that's why a lot of people fight. Now you can't tell me what to do, but by not telling you what to do or giving you some kind of guidance, look at the numbers. Why wouldn't you want me to do? Okay, if we gotta lock it down for 6 weeks, it's okay. It's a short period of time in compared to the span of what else you got going on. I'd rather be on home for the next 6 months and know after 6 months we all can go out there and have a good time, be at the beach chilling. Okay, that's fine. It's like everybody mad about their personal freedom. Listen, calm down. Especially now, I get young people. Young people, yeah, it's hard to get. But people of my age, I'm like, I can sit down. I've been in them streets. Sometimes a little too much. I'm glad a lot of stuff I did ain't got a camera, boy. I tell you, whoo, Lord, under the jail. I'm just,
What?
oh Lord.
Thank him every day. Thank God I didn't was raised in this era.
I'm
Ooh.
telling you. Oh Lord, oh boy, oh my God. Hey, well, what these comments coming in? What they saying?
I do need
Yes,
to
exactly.
add a message out there for all my educators or our educator friends. There is a program called hold on. It's called the Mass Project Tampa Bay. And basically, excuse me, basically what they do is they provide up to 100 masks for teachers here in Hillsborough County Public Schools in efforts
Mhm.
to provide to their students at the school. So with that being said, I will
Mhm.
provide the link to you all here, and you all fill out the form. It's a real easy process. I know for me, I was given the opportunity to participate in that program, and it was phenomenal. So yeah, take a moment, look into it, and yeah, join it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That's great. That's great. So what's that? I just got distracted. Y'all, I just got distracted for a second. All right. So that's the form. Right.
Yeah.
So people we've been talking to a lot of people lately and especially in our leadership, we encourage this is one thing we encourage y'all to do. Issues that matter to you and there are school board meetings, we want you to come and attend. I mean, as you can see, other groups, other special interest groups will go to the school board meetings to present their case. When this month, sorry, next month in February, there are two school board meetings. and they
Mm-hmm.
take place, I believe, one is I don't want to be incorrect with my dates, so
Hold on,
I
I
will
will tell you. Hold on.
thank you.
Let me
But the
look
thing
at it.
is,
It is February the, oh, go back.
one is the
February the 9th and the 23rd.
9th and 23rd. And we just ask you to come and support. I mean, because there may be issues, two big issues, of course, COVID in the schools. And then, of course, what's happening with our youth right now, our Black youth, in terms of the school to prison pipeline. And not only that, but also just behaviorally, a lot of them are not attending school. A lot of them are missing, and their grades are failing. We gotta work harder. We got to work harder to try and save. We got to save our youth. There are some kids, like I know on my roster, there's children who have not been in school since March of last year. March last year. Haven't heard from them, don't know where they are, nothing. Come on. Because that child already lost years of education just by not coming to school, not participating, not doing anything. We've got to do better by our children. We got to provide the resources that they need. We need to be able to understand why there's a barrier to them learning. So we just have to show more support. I mean, if you have the time and you have the ability to do so, just come on to the school board meeting. Show, as we call it, show solidarity with what we're trying to do, or we're trying to ask people to do as support. Because our children, I mean, think about every child is in your household. Do you feel that they're doing the best that they can be? And then here's the other thing too, the conversation. Try to listen to your children, okay? I always have deep conversations with my girls when I do meet with them. But parents do understand something. Just because your child has a laptop, you give them the laptop. They push and push and push and push. I don't know why he's not doing well. Okay, understand. Doing work on a laptop is so different from playing a video game. Because the child is like almost in tears, like, my mother, she just don't understand. And I say, I really don't think she understands that it's not the same. Your math, if you are struggling in math, trying to do it online is going to be hellacious. If you are struggling with science, trying to do science online, and you can't have the interaction because the teacher's like, you need to be on mute because you're interrupting me. But in class, you would normally just raise your hand and start asking your questions. So it's a different,
or ask a classmate.
Or ask your class, right? It's a different situation online. It's not the same. So parents just also have a little patience with the kids, because it is truly not the same. Like I try to open a window for my kids to where, okay, all right, guys, we're gonna ask questions. And I try to say, okay, let's just unmute for 2 seconds. And we're going to be doing it in order. Everybody, but then, so it's hard because in class I could say, okay, table 1, I'm going to cut to table 2, but it's different. So
it is such a challenge in
yes,
math to do that, because a lot of times, I'm capable of, easily being able to detect who has a weakness in XYZ skill and so on. So by just walking around the room and scanning their documents. So now it's like I can't, it's like I'm teaching blindfolded,
right?
Because I can't see what you're writing. I can't see what you're doing. And a lot of times you'll hear teachers say, I can't see what you're thinking. Right. Well, when they're in the room, we have that superpower. We can see what they're thinking in the room. So that's why when we make comments about teachers, having a problem with teaching to, not kids not having their Zoom cameras on. Listen. Just imagine this. You walk in the classroom and you used to have sight, but now you walk in the classroom and you have no sight. It's no indifferent than a child being on the other side of a screen and you cannot see them, to be able to make eye contact and to see that they are struggling, they have a question. Like, the face tells you a lot of things. And yes, we understand there are challenges that are, create for some kids that they don't have the perfect background. We get that. It's understandable, but it's surely not whole classrooms of kids.
Right.
It's not. Because once you let 2 or 3 do it, the whole class will just be black boxes. That is not, you just will not have a lot of productivity at that point. You just won't. It's just like you just talking in the air. Universal darkness.
They're gonna walk away. They're gonna walk away from the screen because
they do walk away. You be calling their name, Susan. Susan. Susan, what did I just say? Susan. What was number 2? Susan. Oh, what did you say, ma'am? Lies. You on that computer? You don't
No.
know what's going on. So you
Right.
do more repeating of what you was teaching to go back over all it. Like, no, I can't. I'm
And then
exhausted at the end of e-learning.
in the
I'm
day,
exhausted.
sure. Because when we read children's face, and this what makes it worse with the mask, because you like, I want to, what it, it's a lot
Right.
easier online because they don't really need to wear a mask. But if you have to look at you, all you got is this part. This it. I can't tell if you're happy, sad, angry, you just sleepy, which one. That's it. So it's like we are masters of reading expression. You can just quickly glance over a room after you've given your instructions and tell, okay, these four right here didn't understand what word I said. They ain't got it. Because you go into that group and be like, why haven't y'all started yet? Okay, I can tell because all y'all were talking and you didn't have the instruction. Okay, meanwhile over here they working. Okay, so just keep in mind that it is not the same. A child, especially if a child does well in a class that they've always done well in, and as soon as they got transferred to online, they fail in that same class. That should be a key indicator to let you know they needed that teacher's help. They needed their classmates' help in that class. They just needed help. And so just give us a minute. And then also, please also give the admin a minute too. I'm telling you, so we got to do something for our AP because she must have changed about 50,000 schedules by now. I mean, Sis changed schedule in August. She changed schedule in September, October, November, December, January. There's not been a month that she haven't changed schedule. I mean, because now they talking about, oh, let's send our kids back. How?
So
How?
is that what they told you all at your site, that everybody coming back?
They're looking like everybody trying to come back. You either getting withdrawn or you coming back, and everybody trying to come. So you bring it back online. You bring back everybody.
See, what
I'm like, well, wait a
bothers me
minute.
with the whole message is that we're not getting the same message across the board in our district. We get one email from AD, and then we get another version of what supposedly was discussed at the principals meeting, the AP meetings, the
Mm-hmm.
coaches meeting, all these meetings. By the
Right.
time we get the information, it's like,
It's
what
watered down.
happened? What you
Yeah,
call
we
it?
don't
What was the
know.
name of that game? Telephone.
The telephone game. We got you whisper.
Yes, like that's how I feel because that's not the same message that we receive.
So we're in the wings because basically it's like this. It's like, hey, listen, we think that in January all y'all come back. Well, wait a minute. The part I like is this. But when I open my Ed Connect and I open Canvas and open everything, not that you think we coming back, we don't got brand new schedules in there. I don't got whole entire rosters. So wait a minute, you ain't making a suggestion that I come back. You're pretty much saying I gotta come back. So what?
And
Like
what I have a problem with
that's
that
not what I
is
signed up
for the
for.
teachers that have built their schedule around and their families around this, I'm at home,
Yes.
financial wise, like it's a whole, like it's not that easy. And we
No.
waited till 11:59 to tell us this. It's a challenge.
And
It's
then
a
the other
challenge. We are
thing,
the most flexible, volunteer people.
right? Did she say flexible voluntold? That's a new word for the vocabulary. We gotta add that in there. Flexible
Yep.
voluntold. Sure is.
Yes.
Because it's like, wait a minute. So but see, and part of the reason for me is, wait a minute. Most people I know have a backup person in the house to help them. But let me tell you, so when I need to take a trash out, I gotta do it. When the car gotta go in the shop, I gotta take the car to the
Yeah,
shop.
I have a really big problem with you having. If they are asking you to have to go back, I have a really big problem with
Because
that.
if anything happened to
It's just
me,
you.
even you can't come help me because I'll give you COVID. So it's like, wait a minute, if you want me to come back, no, understand everything that have to be done here, everything I gotta take up personally, everything I do stuff with my own parent. It's me. So if I go down, that means that's a whole set of kids too. Because who else teach? Because you giving me 3 grade levels, so that means that's 3 grade levels going down too. And if I go down, I'm like, are we thinking this through? But okay, I'm like, dude, dude, we gotta think a little bit
And
deeper.
to be clear, we got to go back at some time. But if we wouldn't have not went back, or let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back.
Take it all the way back. Take it
How
back.
was it that Miami-Dade, some of them in Palm Beach, underneath the same
Take it all
Governor
back.
DeSantis, they're teaching virtually, but we can't. We're gonna be penalized. Help me understand. Like, I need some clarity on that. Are they
Especially
being penalized and then we not? Like, I mean, we. Or is it because we're in such a deficit that we have no cushion to fall back on? Is that what it is?
It's the dollars. Because we done spent up all the money. So now we gotta do something.
That just doesn't make sense to me.
I just I mean, and teachers have passed away. So it's like, I need you to understand, are we that invaluable? That bothers me. That is like,
And we don't need nobody. We don't need no more. We don't need
yeah,
no more input, you all. We don't. Just leave us alone. We don't need no more input about what we should be doing.
right.
Just imagine, look, nobody ain't told number 45 what to do all this time.
But you said over here telling us what to do.
But everybody telling us what to do.
Everybody have an opinion about
Just
teachers.
imagine if I went to go tell a heart surgeon how to
do some heart surgery. Everybody have an opinion about teaching, but ain't nobody want to teach. That's the part that killed me.
We in the trenches, y'all.
But
and it ain't easy.
About what we doing. Come on to the classroom. If it's that easy.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Substitute, we need them.
Listen, because you can't find substitute. You can take a handful of nickels and throw them out there. You can't hit one substitute. They ain't coming.
Not right now, you can't. Because a lot of our substitutes were retirees, and they can't take the risk
in a dangerous situation like that. So think about that. You can't get a substitute when you have all the admin covering class.
Wait, what? What? You got admin covering classes? I didn't hear you.
I wonder if that's why I have to come back to work. Yes, I wonder if that's why I have to come back to work.
Admin covering classes, because some of us.
I ain't trying to come back to class to work just to cover no classes. I mean, I have my own classes I gotta teach.
Listen.
And I can clean my classroom well, as opposed to who classroom I'm going into. Listen, I went into a class one time, trash was all over the floor. I said, you may tell me y'all ain't. So y'all, I mean, and then it was tissue. You get scared when you see tissue. Tissue was, so is somebody going to get this? Because I'm not doing this. And you want me to go ahead and cover this class?
So now it's going to be cleaning with Denise.
Did they ain't going to clean it with the, Not right.
Clean it with Dee. Diva D. No one like me.
Trella said many nurses and physicians have died too treating COVID-19 patients. And that's how's the shot? Listen, my sister got a shot. Two of my cousins got it. All of them in the nursing profession. They went ahead and got the shot. Adverse effects. Adverse effects. Only thing was the pain in the arm, from the vaccine. And like 1 day of fever, and after that it was gone. I was like, but you still ain't got the second round, because you can't tell me nothing until a second set kick in. So once you get that second set, let me know, because I'm a little concerned about what's going on with your life. Okay, so I'm like, oh man, I don't.
And what I find mysterious too, this I'm just confused about a lot of things that happen, and then it's like no explanation behind it, and I guess we're just not privy to know about it. Like I am, like they had access to 500 vaccines that, according to like what's out there in print or media or just whatever, that Mayor Castor made available to the African American community, and I think it was from Progressive Missionary Baptist Church? I don't know the name of the church, but long story short, it was made available for your elders in the community. Now, maybe I'm just overthinking it, but the Tuskegee scenario, and then that one community, they'll do good with dates and all that stuff, historical. I just know it happened. Where happened in what state was that, Denise, where a whole community of African American people passed away from some vaccines, whatever it was.
And then North Carolina, they sterilized people by they went and sterilized a whole bunch of women and men and didn't tell them.
Right. So I just have a problem with knowing that the vaccine was provided for the African American community. It scares the hell out of me. Like, is it the same? Did we get the
Right.
Pfizer version?
Right.
Like 500, enough for 500, not 500, 500 people?
Right. Right. You know, and this is how I feel. I'm like this. If this is what I need you to do. I want to go in and take, if they force me to take the vaccine, I need to be in a cluster of the white folk you're giving the vaccine to. So just give me, let me get 20 white people around me, and then you mix them all up and be like, okay, give me that one, because I know you won't give it to him,
And
but just give me
it's
that one.
funny, but it's really not that we
True.
really think like that, because and
That's
not because of some fairy tale, because it happened before.
True. This is true. They say they give black, let me tell you, let me break this down. They give black women less anesthesia because they think we can handle the pain more. What?
Yes. And the morbidity, what is the morbidity? I can't even say it.
Morbidity rate. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yes.
it's much higher amongst black women.
Come on now, what?
We don't even want to get on that topic, because that right there, every time I hear about it, it frustrates me to a place to be like, what the heck is going on? Can't take nothing else on this plate, nothing else.
I'm like,
but those numbers are astronomical. They're astronomical.
Mm-hmm. That's why I say when I go to the doctors, I'm like, yeah, let me explain something to you. I need you to explain to me. I need you to get me somebody with some color to see how it affects them first before you give it to me. Because you remember that trip we took, and I was like, I was on the ground crawling.
Oh my God, yes. And come to find out, that medication does that to people of color. Only they're the ones that have those. It took you out. It took you out within 24 hours. You was down.
That was horrible. I just flushed my kidney.
All right, we better wrap up.
I know, sure, we got me. Okay, we sorry. We just rambling this.
Yeah, it was scary.
Listen, but it was a horrible experience. That's why that was horrible. I got bad flashbacks to this day. All right, y'all. Listen, we love y'all. Listen, stay up. Be vigilant tomorrow. We're going back to school with the kids, and just pay attention to your surroundings. All I can tell you is keep aware of your surroundings. We're out for the evening. Hey, it's Diva D. Carved Out Divas.
April Carr with April's Beauty Bar, with diversity and equity in education.
And have a good evening, everyone. Bye.
Bye, guys.